Sirish Karud. Mr. Sirish Karud is a director and senior fellow at TERI. He has an experience of over 3 decades in the renewable energy sector. Mr. Sirish is a well-known specialist in the renewable energy technology, solar and wind, energy planning, and renewable energy policy studies. His current research interests include hydrogen economy, solar biomass, hybrid drying systems for regular areas, and microgrids for rural applications. Today, Mr. Sirish will be talking about the impact of solar schemes and hydrogen mission. So let's welcome Mr. Sirish.
Of course, there were two very interesting presentations on the power sector overall overview of the power sector and also on the digitization of the power sector. I'll be taking little detour and go into a bit detail about renewable energy and hydrogen mission, because these are the two currently hot topics. And as mentioned in the first presentation, the power sector is looking at revamping the capacity addition of about 500 gigawatt of renewable power in the sector. And renewable plus clean means part of large hydro and nuclear included as a clean power which will not emit the GHG gases. Now, coming back to renewable power addition, the original target of renewable power, which was about 20 gigawatt, which was enhanced to 175 gigawatt by 2022, and we are currently at 100 plus gigawatt capacity addition. Majority of it is 50%, almost 50% into wind and solar, around 40 gigawatt each, and balance through biomass and other renewables, small hydro. As regards to the if one is looking at power sector capacity addition in future, now there is a capacity target of about 40 gigawatt through rooftop solar, which has which is lagging behind. We have only 6 gigawatt, around 6 gigawatt installed on rooftop solar segment. So that is one segment which is, I believe, will be important from budget perspective also in future. Currently, there are some subsidy schemes for small rooftop solar in the residential sector. But I believe more than that, we can have income tax benefit for rooftop solar systems for individuals, which is because now the whole income tax process is digitized, and it is also a faceless process. So it is easier to implement such a scheme through MNRE, or through MNRE or the other organizations like SECI, and the benefits can then be given to larger population. So that is one of the recommendations we would like to make. The second issue is also there is a PM Kusum scheme, which is basically focused on irrigation pumping for agriculture sector, and it's a massive scheme of 30 gigawatt total capacity in 3 components: solar power plants which are grid connected, which can be installed on barren land, agriculture land, which is around 5 kilometers from the substation, and the electricity can directly go into DISCOM. The second component is energization of solar irrigation pump sets, about 20 lakhs or so. And third is, of course, solarization of electric pump sets through solar. Now, these schemes are under implementation. About 50% or so targets have been achieved so far, but agriculture is much beyond only irrigation. So there is a lot of energy consumed in other agriculture processes, and especially when we are giving focus on food processing and post-harvest processing of agriculture produce. We need to look into those segments carefully in terms of funding and financing and using of clean energy. So it is important to have not only agro-photovoltaics, that is the scheme for using photovoltaics in agriculture land where cultivation can happen below the solar modules, so they are installed on a still. So because of that, the cost of installation goes up, but land can be used both for agriculture purpose and also for generating solar energy. Beyond that, the biomass, which is a part of agriculture activity, it can be processed for a variety of applications like generation of biomass-based fuels, or also compressed biogas generation, which can be part of agriculture produce or waste of food processing, etc. And so utilization of these biofuels and biogas for say applications like tractor or agriculture machinery running, and that is something which a budget can look into as an innovative scheme to support new technologies. So agriculture produce is and the waste because of the post-harvest processing, etc., is converted into energy, and it is used for agriculture produce. And going forward, when we are looking at net zero by 2070, I think some of these are an important factor, because all these, agriculture, of course, is one of the major activity where more than 70% of the population is engaged. And we must look into decarbonizing agriculture activity right from now, so that we achieve net zero by 2070. Now, the second aspect, third aspect is the hydrogen economy. We are, as a country, we have been actively supporting hydrogen technologies since 2006, when we had a first hydrogen mission launched by MNRE, and which was then subsequently modified in 2015-16. But not much has happened on the ground because the technology primarily being very expensive. And hydrogen has now become a buzzword mainly because of the lower cost of solar energy or renewable energy. So the production of hydrogen through electrolyzer technology, through called as a green hydrogen, as compared to the gray or gray, blue or brown hydrogen, which is part of conventional processes of natural gas steam reformation or coal gasification, etc. So hydrogen is another area where, of course, government has announced the hydrogen mission in the last budget and also on 15th August. But so far the formal document is missing, and we look forward to massive investment opportunities coming into hydrogen scheme, particularly the production link incentive kind of scheme for hydrogen electrolyzers, because we have solar and wind energy very cheap, and if we have electrolyzers cost under control and utilization of electrolyzers around the clock using green energy through innovative banking mechanism or support mechanisms, then hydrogen can also become very viable. Government has already announced its intention to make hydrogen, green hydrogen consumption mandatory to certain segments like refineries and fertilizers. But yes, that is one of the way one is one can create a market, initial market for green hydrogen. But if we are really looking at 1 million metric ton green hydrogen production by 2030, then we need to look at the technology interventions very carefully. And as we say that we missed burst in solar PV by not promoting local manufacturing, because now all the PV supply is dominated by imported modules. Same should not happen with the hydrogen technologies. So it is important to have the hydrogen electrolyzer technology promoted through budgetary support and innovative schemes for financing it. These are my initial thoughts, and we would definitely look forward to the panel discussion. Thank you.